A perfect idea for Mother's Day, the gift of family history. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Ancestry is genealogist and educator on YouTube. She's the barefoot genealogist, Crista Cowan. Great to see you again, Crista.
Thank you, Fred. Good to see you too.
Well, Ancestry, speaking from personal experience, is a fun way to find out more about those who came before, really opening the doors to discovery. And you're continuing to innovate with new tools, including some AI. Tell us about it, Krista.
Yeah, Ancestry is the global leader in family history. We've always are looking for ways to enhance our product experience. We've been using AI to do that for more than a decade. So some of the features that people may be familiar with are things like our hints when you're building out your family tree that give you information about possible records in our collections or in other people's trees that might be about your ancestor. Our life story feature was the very first ancestry feature to use generative AI technology, connecting records and relationships and creating a little auto summary of the information in those records. And then we have some new AI features. We're continuing to innovate in that space. Three new features in particular we have new product feature called Recognize Ancestor, which is one of my favorites. You upload a photo, and we all have them, of people that you've inherited photos from, and maybe one or two of the people in that picture, but maybe there's three or four people in that picture that you don't know. And uploading the photos and using our new AI Recognize Ancestor feature allows you to see if we can tell you who we think that person in that photo might be. I don't know if you've had a chance to play around with that particular feature yet.
Not that one yet, but it sounds exciting. Sounds like a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
you know that from a database or pictures other people have uploaded, or how would it be able to determine that?
Yeah, so we've been training the AI on both uploaded photos, so people, millions and millions of photos that people have uploaded to more than 143 million family trees on Ancestry. And then we also have trained it on some of the documents that we have in our collections that have photographs on them. So things like, passport applications and some military records. Like there's lots of records that have photos, and we've trained it, and now we're continually training it as people tag and identify individuals in photos in real time.
Really exciting. Well, let's step back a bit and have you go through how someone would get started here with Ancestry. And I know there are different options available, like DNA testing, things like that. So, step us through the process here.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of ways into family history. One is just to come online and start a family tree at ancestry.com. It's free to do that. And I always recommend you start with yourself and then add what you know about your parents and grandparents. And here in the US in particular, if you can get to somebody who was living in the country before 1950, that hint technology will take over and will start to deliver you hints to things like the 1950 and 1940 US federal census, both of which are free on Ancestry. And that's going to give you a snapshot of who was living in the household with your parent or grandparent, and maybe the beginnings of some things that you didn't know. Things like how old they were, where they lived, what they did for an occupation, and maybe even who their parents were. So that's one way into family history, is just to start that family tree and see what information we might have for you. The other way, and a lot of people come in this way, is to take an Ancestry DNA test. More than 27 million people have taken an Ancestry DNA test so far. So in addition to getting that, pie chart that most people are familiar with of the percentage of where in the world your DNA was from, we also match you to the other 27 million people who've taken the test. And if any of them share a measurable enough amount of DNA with you, we can predict an approximate relationship to that person. So you're going to get this match list of cousins, and that's going to allow you to start exploring, oh, well, if we're related, how are we related? And that's a really great way to kind of dip your toe in the family history waters as well.
It really sounds like a great gift for Mother's Day or for those looking ahead. Father's Day, too. Uh, Family members can kind of get together and contribute to building the tree.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, tree building on Ancestry is free. When you can pay for a DNA kit or you can pay for a subscription to access more of our historical records. But you can also, for free, share your family tree with anyone in the family. So, for example, in my family, I own the family tree. It lives on my Ancestry account, my login, but I've shared it with both of my parents, given them full editor rights so that they can add and update information. I've also shared it out with my siblings. Now, I haven't given them editor rights, they've just been invited as guests, but it allows them to pull up the mobile app on their phone and explore our family tree and the discoveries that I'm making. And if they have updates to make, they'll just text those to me and I can make those updates in the tree.
That's exciting. And I could ask, how far back are you able to go with your tree?
Yeah, it's interesting because you have two parents and four grandparents and eight great grandparents. That number doubles every generation you go back. And I know who all 16 of my great great grandparents are. But when you hit that three times great grandparent level, I start to see drop off in different branches of the family tree because of what we call affectionately in genealogy brick walls, or people who we haven't just been able to quite identify who their parents are yet. So I've got a mystery Irish Civil War soldier brick wall in the 1870s on one branch of my family tree. Other branches of the tree go back into the late 1500s.
Wow, that's exciting. And in terms of the research that goes into this, you've made it so much less time consuming, it seems to me, the tools that you offer people, because it used to take hours and hours and library visits and who knows what else to be able to dig things up, right?
Yeah, I started doing family history when I was about 12 years old, and my dad would bring me every summer from California to Salt Lake City to the big library there, the largest genealogical library in the world. And we would spend a week poring over microfilm and scrolling through, records and looking at microfiche and pulling books off the shelf. And we had our little yellow legal pads and we'd scribble mad notes that we'd then take home at the end of that week and be so proud that we had found one or two pieces of information in all the records that we had looked at. And then I'd spend the year before the next summer writing away to record offices and libraries. It was very, very labor intensive. So I grew up doing family history that way. When Ancestry became .com in 1997, and I put my first tree online and I started looking at some of the first records online, I almost felt like I was cheating because it was so fast to find information. Since 1997, Ancestry has added an additional 68, or let's see if I can get this number right, 65 billion records to the site. We add an average of about 5 million new records a day from 88 countries around the world. And so for almost everyone, you can come online and find something with just a click of a button if you're looking at a tree hint, or a couple of quick searches in our online databases that are going to give you the information that for me used to take sometimes months or years to accumulate. So yes, the speed at which information is now available is really exciting because it means more discoveries and more stories being found faster that can then get into our families.
Are some countries a lot more problematic than others in trying to get information?
It's different for every country. Every country, even every state here in the United States, has different laws regarding public and private records. So, for example, here in the US, our federal census, which has been taken every 10 years since 1790, has a 72-year privacy law, which means the most recent available census is the 1950 census. In Canada, that privacy law is 90 years, and in the UK, it's 100 years. So every country has different laws, every state has different laws. So really, it's just a matter of Ancestry going out and acquiring whatever records are publicly available based on the laws of the location.
So tell us about subscriptions, the pricing, and how that works, and people can give it as a gift.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so interesting. There's this new statistic that I just read from a study that says that nearly 97%, like that's almost all of mothers in the US, say that they would prefer a gift that brings their family closer together over a traditional gift like flowers. So, for anybody who's still shopping for Mother's Day gifts, Ancestry DNA kits and they come with, for this special, a 3-month World Explorer membership, access to those historical records. They're on sale for just $40 from May 1st through May 11th.
Wow, that's a terrific deal. And the
Yeah,
place to go to get it would be ancestry.com.
just ancestry.com. Absolutely.
Well, congratulations on all of the innovations there, and I'm sure you've sparked a lot of interest. This is growing, isn't it? The field of genealogy and the interest in it.
Yeah, it really is. One of our other new features is a new product that we just announced this year called Networks, also using some of this kind of innovative AI-driven technology, because not only are our family trees growing, as more and more people test, as more and more people start trees, we start making more and more connections, but people are starting to realize that to really understand the stories of our ancestors, to really understand the stories of ourselves, we need to understand the communities that they lived in and the experiences that they had. And so, this new networks feature, in addition to letting you climb your own family tree, lets you start to create some of those communities, people they worshiped with, worked with, immigrated with, their friends and neighbors. Because to tell the life story of you, Fred, I would probably need to maybe interview some of those people, and we can do that virtually now with our ancestors as well. So lots of growth, both in the interest in family history and also in the discoveries that any single individual can make as they explore their own family tree.
Just terrific. The site again is ancestry.com, really easy. Krista Cowan, thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you.